All right, good afternoon. We continue this afternoon's press conference. We have head coach Nick Cushing. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Scott Churchson.
Hey, Coach, thanks as always. Talk to me a little bit about the growth of Luis Barraza this year, from being second fiddle to Sean to now being the goaltending leader of the team.
I think we wanted to give Luis the opportunity to play. We were going to recruit a goalkeeper in the off season. There was many different thought processes around level of goalkeeper experience, and we decided that we wanted to give Luis the shot. We decided to bring Matt Freese in, which is direct competition for him. We believe in Luis. It's a different opportunity for him because he's played, I think the majority of back-to-back games was Sean's Gold Cup in 2021, maybe 2020, 2021. But he works so hard, and we know he's been developed here, so we know his capabilities in his skill set. I suppose the one thing that is out there is his mentality and his ability to sustain performance and deal with setbacks. And I've been really pleased with him. I think he's shown real growth over the first period of the season, had a good preseason. And all we can ask is him to continue to work hard. And he's doing that again today on the training pitch. He's worked hard. He's become a leader in the dressing room. He's very vocal. And he has a real desire to continue to improve. So although it's only early and he still has Matt Freese really pushing him, at the moment, I've been really, really pleased with the goalkeeping department.
Roberto?
Hey, Coach. I asked this question before to Thiago. I'm just interested in your take on it. So the team that plays pretty similarly home and away, now you've gotten 3 games in a row at home where you've gotten good results and all that. We know that away you've only gotten 2 ties. What can you bring over from these 3 games that you can take to Toronto to try to continue and finally start getting some results on the road?
I think there's different parts of the performances that we have to understand and be aware why we're winning games. We were better with the ball. Since the New England game, I've been more pleased with how we've played with the ball, how we've controlled games with the ball. But I think from the home games, I think it's those moments when we've had to suffer. So I think, big parts of the end of the Nashville game, different types of suffering in the sense of Dallas are a team that want to try and, play between the lines and control you with possession. And Nashville, they were direct, putting the ball in the box, a lot of crosses. You have to expect those periods are going to be greater away from home, especially at a team like Toronto that are going to have the crowd behind them. Definitely more comfortable playing at home. So we have to be good and we have to have a good mentality and a good approach with the ball. But we also have to, accept that we're going to be put under pressure at times, and we have to have the ability to soak up the pressure. And we've said before, we have to get points on the road if we want to be a team that improves on last year. We have to get points on the road, and the team is really, really hungry for that to start. We're pleased with getting draws at tough places like New England, but we have to start getting 3 points on the road if we want to compete at the top of the league.
On a slightly different subject, and maybe it's related. When you've had some leads, you've allowed a lot of late goals. You've only had 1 shutout so far this season. Is there anything that you can directly attribute to allowing those late goals, or there have been different circumstances that have made for it that's happened?
No, I think we just have to grow as a team. We have to understand that in our league, teams will always, you just have to look across the league at the amount of late goals that come in the league. We're really lucky that the late goals have came when we've had 2 and 3 goal leads, which have meant we've gone on to win the game. It's all about mentality, and it's all about how we control the game and the focus and the concentration that we have. We tend to give away cheap set play at the end of the game, and teams like Nashville are strong at set play, disappointed again in the Dallas goal. But we just have to keep working at it. This is a young team. It's a fairly new team. I think in years gone by, you rely on the experience in the team to control the end of the game and to manage the end of the game and to make sure that we don't allow teams the enthusiasm to feel like they're getting back into the game. We for sure need to grow at that. And we've discussed it and we've reviewed it and we'll continue to do that. But yeah, we have to get better at that, because if we're in 1 goal games and we're in tie games, late goals can be the decider and the difference between 3 points, a point, and we have to make sure that we're a strong team and we grow in that.
Onto the Zoom, Juan Carlos.
Hi, Coach, and thank you for the time. Knowing that you're going to face Sean Johnson, it could be viewed as a disadvantage because he knows the team so well. Like, are you willing to make rotations in the attacking line to prevent that from happening, or do you just take the game as just another one and hope for the best?
We have to concentrate on ourselves. We have to approach the game the same way we do every game. Of course, there's a different approach, slight different approach because it's an away game and we've just had 3 home games. But we know Sean knows us, but ultimately, if we change the way that we approach games because of players that played for us, we'd be forever changing here and there with the nature of the league. So I have huge respect for Sean. He was an excellent player, an incredible captain for us, and it'd be nice to see him again. But we always focus on ourselves. We have to look at previous games for us, the training week, the threat that Toronto have. And, I said every week, and I'll say it again, I've been really pleased with the way the players have approached the preparation for the game. And, we're hungry to get points on the road now.
Over, Shane.
Hi, thank you. A question about away games. What is the difference between an away and a home game? Like, how can you explain what it feels like and why the result tends to be different in an away game versus a home game?
I think naturally you're more comfortable at home. You have the feel of the game. You're more comfortable. You know it better. You have the whole crowd behind you. The nature of travel in our league means that there's going to be more support at home. It's a little bit different to Europe because of the distances. And I think those top teams that are in those top positions get points on the road. Home advantage is huge. So if you can really swing that home advantage and get points on the road when you go away to teams, then you'll become a team that's competing at the top of the league. And I think that's about mentality. I think it's became a real perception in our league that home is an advantage. And, our record is the same as everyone else's. We're stronger at home than we are away. We have to break that perception. We have to change that in our mentality. And we have to understand that there are huge opportunities to going on the road and getting points. And I think it's about the way you perceive it. And we're really trying to do some work as a group on that. I think we finished really strong last year with wins, away at Atlanta, away at Montreal in the playoffs. And I feel it's because of the way we approach the game, and we approach the game with a real desire to not only win, but to play well and manage those moments where home advantage can become, a real, those difficult moments. I think the start of the game is always hectic in our league. If you can control those moments and quieten the crowd down, then you can start to get a foothold in the game, and you can start to really, play our football and stop the opposition from coming on top of us and really trying to take the momentum in the game.
Amanda.
Hi, thank you for your time. You mentioned a little bit earlier about having several experienced players on the team that can kind of lead the team. We've seen Thiago wear the captain's band. We've seen Chanot wear the band. Can you talk about what's led to having James Sands wear the band for the last few games?
Yeah, I think ultimately we have to have a locker room that manages itself. And I think when you have experienced guys in there that have been in the club for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, that naturally develops, because Maxi Morales, Alex Cayens, Tati Castellano, Sean Johnson, those guys naturally will start to control the group and will start to develop the mentality of the group. We don't have that at the start of this year. So we have to develop that ourselves. And we've done that by putting a leadership team together, which is a mix of different characters, whether it be longest serving players, homegrown players, real characters, people that have a real personality and presence from the way that they behave. And we've done that with 5 players. 3 of those have wore the captain's armband over pre-season, and and the regular season. James is wearing it because he's came back with a big desire to develop in his leadership skills and his presence in the dressing room. He's naturally led by example with his performances. And I think now when his consistency and performance is there, he has to now lead with his presence and his voice and his body language. And I think my job is to develop players as well as to win football games. And to develop James Sands, we have to push him to the front of the group and really, put a responsibility and an expectation on him. I've been really pleased with the way that he has honored that and the way that he has took that responsibility on. But I've also been pleased with all of the guys. Keaton Parks is really coming out of his. Keaton's always been a young player that is trying to develop into being an important player in the group. Now he's not young anymore, so he has to now really push his leadership skills and his performance level. Thiago Martins has been incredible at the start of this year, and I couldn't say enough good things about him. And Chano is Chano. He is a leader in the way that he speaks, in the way that he plays. And I don't need to give Chano a captain's armband for him to be the captain of this team. He does that just purely from his character and the way that and the love that he has for this football club.
And final question will go to Trey.
Hey, Coach. So the transfer window came and gone, and you guys are now with the team you have for at least the next 2.5 months or so. Does any kind of recent performances or the recent improvement of the guys play into that decision that you guys didn't make any moves? And is there going to be a similar monitoring entering the next window?
I've said before that, and I'm not dodging the question. Recruitment is an ongoing process. We will continue to look at how we can strengthen this group, and if the right players come along, the right profile of player, the right people, we will 100% bring that player to the group. Now, I understand that restrictions in when you can recruit mean that we can't do that now. The fact that we didn't do it was because the right players weren't there, and we won't just bring football players to our group because we feel they'll give us a short-term lift. This is about improving our team for this season and for the future. There is more opportunity in the summer window purely based on the fact that all teams aren't playing. There's some complications around trying to get the right players whilst teams are still playing now. There is probably more opportunity in the summer, and we have a huge desire that when the rules allow us to bring in real quality and players that will improve our group, 100% we will do it. And although the transfer window is short, we're still having conversations between myself, the coaching team, David, Brad. It's a consistent process with all of our scouts. We'll consistently look at who are those right players. And, I'm excited for when we recruit. I'm excited, but, I'm no more excited than the group that I have to work with here. I've just been out on the training pitch today, and another excellent training session, a group of hungry guys that want not only to improve, but want to sustain the level of performance that we have, but also make that better because, we played well against Dallas, but, we want to play better. We want to win more football games, and the only way to do that is to continue to work.
Great. Thanks, everyone.